Hey there, math moment makers, and in particular, math mentors out there who might be looked upon in their grade or divisional team, maybe across their school or even across the district, to shine some light on the math teaching practices taking place beyond your own classroom walls and into other classrooms around you. In today's short video, I'm going to be sharing and discussing a paradox that all mathematics mentors face when engaging educators in professional learning. What am I talking about here? Well, stick around and you will find out right after this. All right, math mentors, you've probably been there before. You plan for what you believe to be a fantastic day of learning, spending hours and hours thinking, crafting, reflecting, and reworking to make it just right. The day of the professional learning session comes, and it seems like the group of educators you're working with would rather be doing something else. A lack of general engagement or just comments highlighting a deficit-based mindset are evident. Maybe you even see a teacher marking at the back table instead of engaging in the learning. Yikes. Now, does investing in professional learning opportunities even matter if the students, aka educators, don't even want to engage? Well, it turns out that educators are just grown-up versions of our students. At times, it might seem like nothing we can do will engage them, when in reality, everyone, young and old, is curious, enjoys productive struggle, and ultimately wants to feel successful. And I truly believe that. Furthermore, your teachers actually want professional learning opportunities, despite some demonstrating disengaged behavior that you may have noticed in the past. For example, analysis of the Teaching and Learning International Survey, which I'm just going to pull up on the screen here. Here's a website for it up on the screen there. They've actually highlighted that despite high levels of participation in development activities by educators, the professional development needs of a significant proportion of teachers are not being met. Bingo. I think we just put a finger on what's going on here. Just like in the math classroom, where students disengage and even become behavioral issues when they feel their needs are not being met, educators can act in a very similar fashion. So what about all those hours of planning? Well, your heart was in the right place, but if specific teacher needs are not being met, they will disengage, or at least what they perceive to be are their teacher needs, right? So this is where we have to pause for a second and think about, just because you believe that they need to learn something, do the educators understand what it is that they need to learn? And are you helping them to see that through so that they feel successful? Now, this reminds me of all the years that John and I spent trying to engage and nudge our students forward. And sadly, we failed for many years. Glimpses here and there where, we may have had some good days, but it felt like more bad days than good days, especially near the beginning of our teaching career. But now I want you reflecting, now that you're in this math mentoring role, you've probably noticed that educators are actually more challenging for you to nudge for change because their own lived experience deepen beliefs and entrench habits that are hard to break. Furthermore, these lived experiences of educators also make it more difficult to convince them of why doing something differently might be better. So let's pause for a second to reflect on what we know. We know that educators feel, and according to our data here from OECD, that many educators, a high proportion of educators, feel their professional learning needs are not being met. And you're observing that they're disengaging every time or often when you're digging into new professional learning opportunities. So you're wondering what gives here. The reality is that similar to the way we often rush to teach the next concept in math class without giving students an opportunity to experience why the concept is useful, we tend to do the same in our professional development sessions. We, the facilitators, often research why certain pedagogical approaches are helpful, and then we might even try them. I hope we've tried them before we bring them and tell educators they now must do these things. That isn't how learning works for students, and it certainly isn't how learning works for our much more experienced educators. This idea alone can completely redefine what professional learning could look and sound like in your district. Now, it's hard to go it alone, but you can if you commit to it. Your district isn't the only one struggling to make change happen in the mathematics classroom. So be sure not to beat yourself up over it. It isn't you. It is the ineffective systemic approaches that we continue to use despite all of the data telling us it isn't working. So as Steve Lenoir, former president of NCSM, has said numerous times in his workshops, PD is underperforming. It is neither professional nor does it develop. So here, I want you to reflect and I want you to think, if you are looking for more ways that you can support educators on this journey, and you're looking to turn professional learning around in your district, then consider hitting one of the links under this video to chat with our team about our district mentorship program, so you can learn more about how we are mentoring a select number of districts just like yours. We're super excited to continue doing this in-depth learning with districts so that more educators can empower more learners to do deep mathematics. All right, my friends, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing some of your comments down below.